Hello and welcome to the Yearnings podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 79. I am calling it Cozi. It is February 4th. It is a Thursday afternoon and the rain has stopped. It was pouring pretty hard this morning and so there's little drips on all the trees, but it has stopped now. 52 degrees, so it's fairly warm out there. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to both new and returning people. I am so glad you're here with me today. Let's get into some life stories and all the crafting stuff and all the non-crafting stuff, and it will be a good episode. So, life stories. Spent quite a bit of time resting this week. We even had a day in on Saturday where we didn't go out at all. I guess... Did Eric leave the house? I don't think Eric even left the house. We just hung out. We played games. I rested. We had leftover food and watched stuff. And so it was a really nice, relaxing, just hangout day. We don't get to have those very often. And then on Friday night, before that, my little brother came over for dinner. My youngest brother. He's not little. He's taller than me. He is actually, in our family, out of the 5 of us kids, it goes reverse height order to the age. So I'm the oldest, but I'm the shortest. So, yes, that was nice. Tuesday, 2 days ago, when I was out and about, there was a day where it didn't rain, and I was so excited because every Tuesday in January was wet, some more than others, and so that was definitely a fun thing to not have to worry so much about being all wet and drenched. And I even wandered around town without my coat zipped up for part of the time because it was so nice. It was in the 40s. It wasn't, I could still see my breath, but it was nice to see sunbeams through the clouds and all that. I was reading ads in the paper. One of the craft stores, one of the local small craft stores has a beautiful ad for all of their crafts, and I said to Eric, I want to craft all the crafts. I am definitely, I can see possibilities in so many different areas of crafting, and I have stuck my toe in a lot of different areas, and so when I see great ideas in craft ads, I want to try them all, or I want to retry them all. I do the same thing when I'm looking at classes in Craftsy, which I am a Craftsy affiliate, so if you do want to take a class through Craftsy, you can click through my link. It's on the top of the page on the Ravelry site, and it's in the sidebar on my blog. I think that is all the life stories, so let's move in to some yarnings and adventures in knitting. I am wearing my finished object. Let's see if you can see. This is my cozy boxy, I was calling it. This is the worsted boxy pattern by Hohi Locatelli. It is a oversized boxy shaped pullover, knit in a touch of twist alpaca tweed, which came from Rhinebeck, from a fairy yarn mother. And I followed the pattern pretty closely. I changed the direction I knitted for a bit of the pattern, but as far as stitch counts, and I didn't do any adjustments for my shape, I just let the pattern do its work. Because it's such an oversized piece, it's easy for it to just be able to do what it wants to do and have it be a nice shape for me. So I am really pleased with this. It is really cozy. You can see there's quite a bit of positive ease, but that's by design. That's how it's supposed to be. But then when you have your arms down, it really flows down nicely. So I am quite pleased. I did do a garter collar and hem rather than the ribbing, but the ribbing is on the sleeves. I had when knitting the tacks, and ended up with a sleeve that was smaller than the other. So I had picked up too few stitches on my second sleeve by about 6 stitches different. And so that was definitely noticeable by the time I did my sleeve decreases. It was too tight. And I don't know how I didn't notice that as I was doing it. I guess because they're shorter sleeves, it wasn't so noticeable. So I ripped out the sleeve, picked it back up correctly this time, and zoomed along. It didn't take as long as it could have to get back to being done, and then I was able to leave in the ends and wash it and block it, and that didn't take too long, so that was nice. So I wore this on Tuesday, and I'm wearing it again to show you guys. I think I'm going to really enjoy wearing this. It is a little warm under these studio lights, but I think I'll be okay. Okay, so I used almost 1,000 yards doing this, which I think that was pretty close to what it said. I made it, I think I made it maybe an inch longer. It wasn't a significant amount longer, but yeah. And I think if you are interested in a boxy sweater, but you're unsure about how it's going to look with the amount of ease on your body shape, see if you can find somebody that's made one, whether it's the worsted boxy, which is what this one is, or the regular boxy, which is in fingering weight, and see if you can try somebody's on. Sure can't hurt to ask, and then you will know if it's something that you would like. My next knitting is my Castle socks. Had I cast these on last time? I think I did, yes. So I now have full-length toes, and I want to do some kind of a stitch pattern, and so sometimes I will just take my work and start riffing on a pattern. And so as you can see, I just have a little tab hanging out up here where I just knit back and forth trying something out. I will rip that back. I just wanted to see how it was going to look in this yarn. And that's sometimes easier than making a swatch in something else. It doesn't hurt the yarn really. I mean, it's been knit a few more times than it would have, but obviously I'm not going to wear it like that with a little tab sticking up, but it gave me a good perspective on whether or not my idea for a cable was going to work in here. I'm not quite happy with this, so I'm going to do a little bit more idea. I was working on it when I was at the library this week, and my husband called and it was time for me to leave. So I haven't picked it back up since then to tweak on the last design I made. I have it written out on paper. Sometimes writing it out on paper is enough, and sometimes you have to see how it's going to look. So that's why doing just this rather than knitting around both socks makes a lot of sense. Right? Right. So these are going to be just my vanilla sock with some sort of a cable on it. This is another Crafty Girl's strong sock in her Countryside Castle colorway, which is inspired by Castles of Burgundy. It's got all those beautiful muted shades that are kind of on the box and the background of the boards and stuff. And it makes me happy to work on these. So that is the socks in progress. In this bag is another swatch based on the design that I'm working on right now, the design that's done, but I want to see how it's going to look in another set of colors. So I have a great swatch, a nice big swatch so that I could really see well, and I'll be continuing to work on that, but I'm not going to show you yet. And then my basket. I showed you guys the basket last week with a whole bunch of colors in it. And I cast on yesterday for my next sweater. This is based on the Christmas in July pattern by, oh, what's her name? Lovely. Scrolling back. Tanis Lovely. I say based on because I have tweaked a few things. I got to do my first ever tubular cast on, and that was really exciting. I have never tried a tubular cast on before. And then I've taken her color charts and tweaked them quite a bit for what I had and the color combinations. So you can see there is, I don't know if you'll see the difference up here. This is Madtosh Trodden, and then in between these purple lines is antique lace, so it's a little whiter. There's Flash Dance. We got some of the main color that the body of the sweater will be in, which is that pink. We go into Dust Bowl. Let's see. Dust Bowl. We've got a Miss Babs. The orange is French Marigold, something that Angel had given me at the first CK from a shawl she was working on. The red is Madtosh Tart. The black is Madtosh Onyx. And then the green is Jilly, which is another single ply in like a club colorway that they'd given out at CK that I won. And I have two or three more colors in here that I still will get to. But I am in love with this. This is going to be so amazing. So the top neckline is Fair Isle, and then the body of the sweater will be this Holiday Yarns Persephone. This is their flock sock fingering, and it's a beautiful Christine pink. I bought this at Rhinebeck when I went in 2014, and so it has all those positive memories, and I am so thrilled. I am just, this is making me want to knit nothing but Fair Isle. So I'm calling it Valentine's All, what did I say? Valentine's All Year. Because it's going to have hearts in it, and it's very pinks and purples and reds and grays, which are kind of Valentine's colors, but they're also Christine all year round colors. So add in a little bit of orange and green and blue. Let's see, where'd the blue go? Blue, just for some color pops, and it's going to be really great. So I may add a block of Fair Isle elsewhere in the sweater besides just on the neckline, because I'm going to still have plenty of yarn. So that's awesome. I also have in my hands that Swiffer cover I was working on last week. I'm in the middle of a row, and I'm very close. I went and got my Swiffer, trying to make it just slightly oversized from the width. If I wasn't in the middle of the row, I could show this a little better. It's just almost exactly the width of the large Swiffer right now. So I'm going to give it just a little more ease, and then I will take it and make a little pocket on each end. We're going to see how this way works. So that has been my conversation knits for today, because the other things were not very conversational. So, how about some yearnings spinning a tail? I recorded a short video. I put it on the yearnings YouTube channel, and it's linked from the yearnings blog, but it's not a podcast episode. So if you only watch it in your downcast and you don't go view the site, you probably haven't seen it yet. I also linked to it on Instagram and Facebook, but it was a short video with the really basics of how I spin. My Aunt Vicky, who watches the podcast, had asked what spinning looked like, and it's harder for me to show here at my desk because I don't have enough space to back up. So I filmed it downstairs where I could sit in a high bar stool chair and showed how I went from fluff to pre-drafting to spinning to putting it onto my spindle. So right now I'm getting close to the same size there. A little bit more can fit on here. This is 3/8. Oh, I see the tag. Yep. 3/8 yarn, her merino nylon 8515. And let's stick that in there so that I keep it. And it's spinning up so smooth and nice. The color changes are just divine. Even though it's really subtle, it's really beautiful. I also have a request to do a tutorial on how to make a leader. Some people use a piece of yarn for when they're attaching their fiber onto their spindle for the first time. Like when you're just starting with just the spindle and a handful of fiber, how do you get it started? So I will try and add that as well. It's another little video. I'll probably pull out my little toy spindle, my plastic Turkish spindle that isn't quite quality enough for real spinning, but it would work great for showing this off. So I'll probably pull that off so that then I don't have to wait until I am at a good spot to start a new spindle, a new cop on here. I'll just use some fiber I have laying around. And then needle adjacent, I talked last week about my hobbledehoy bats and asked people if they had ideas for spinning them. And Joanne, she's Auntie Jo, she's the Creative Mojo bag designer, creativemojo.etsy.com. She posted some awesome tips on how she spins batlings in last week's episode thread. So if you are also interested in that, you should go check out her posts. Thank you so much. And so I am really excited about getting those on my spindle. How about some stitch through time? So last week I told you I'm working on another small English paper piecing project, and while I'm not going to show you all of it because it is kind of secret, I will show you. I got out my compass and my protractor and I made some shapes. Yes, it looks like a little Pac-Man eater, but it's really a hexagon with a triangle cut out of it. So I was trying to make actually it's a diamond cut out of this side and a triangle over there. So I was trying to make the right size hexagon for the shapes I was making, and I needed is this right? Yes. I needed a diamond that ended up being this shape and that size. So I figured out what shapes I wanted to put together, And it's kind of hard to see that those are black up against my brown sweater, but the middle is red and the ends are black, and I need 3 of these to go around 3 bigger hexagons. The hexagons that I'm making are double that size, so this is half of a hexagon, and then it fits with these to make 1 bigger hexagon. So it was really fun to get to pull out my protractor and my compass and think about all the possibilities of things I could put together, ways I could put hexagons inside of diamonds, and ways I could make diamonds come out of hexagons, and it's just, the possibilities are so endless. And now that I understand how to draft them a little better, I am really excited about more projects. So my little box is still working great for me, and I am really excited about the project I'm working on right now. And it's close to being done. I have the pieces basted for making 3 of these. I have 1 done and the pieces basted for the other 2. And then I get to sew them all together and do some backing stuff. And I need to get 1 thing in the store. I would get to go to the craft store. And yeah, so that's getting close. I also am considering on what my next sewing, what my first real sewing thing on my sewing machine will be. So I have some fat quarters. I'm going to make some project bags, just the most basic so I can practice on. But I'd like to make quilts for downstairs. We have 2 Pong chairs, IKEA chairs, and we could use some lap quilts. So before I do that, I think I'm going to make a quilt for my exercise room on the couch that I sit on all the time. And because it's really just for me, I could do it pinks and reds. I am just so excited at that prospect, because downstairs I couldn't do a pink and red one. I could do variations on purples and maybe some pink, but maybe not the whole thing all girly. So right now is the perfect time to be thinking about that, because I can go to the craft store and find Valentine's fabrics that I would use all year round. Can you tell I'm getting really excited about this? I'm talking faster even. So my sewing machine, which is actually really light. I can pick it up with 1 hand. My sewing machine is sitting here, still hasn't been used, but I am really excited about it. For knitting community, I'm thinking about some upcoming knit-along ideas. We might just do the Convocal again, because that's been so successful. There were definitely people interested in doing another knit-along. If you are a small business owner, or you know a small business owner that you'd like to see sponsor some of our contests, this podcast is open to that idea. So keep that in mind. You're welcome to pass on that to your favorite crafty biz owner. You guys all know what my geeky, girly tastes lie in the podcast, things that might match. So that's a thought. Upcoming, I will be going to the Rose City Yarn Crawl, which is the beginning of March. I'll at least hit a few stores. The end of March, I'll be going to Game Storm, where I'll be knitting and gaming. And then in June, the Zombie Knit-pocalypse. Yay! So, that being said, let's move into some non-knitting segments for Sagas of Geekery. Now played the Great Heartland Hauling Company. I always try and say it wrong, so I did it slow. When my brother came over for dinner. It's a cute little mini game. And then we played Istanbul and Race for the Galaxy on Saturday, like I had predicted might be the case for this weekend, so I could finish out my first month of 10 by 10. There were 14 games played over the course of January, 14 different instances of 12 different games. So there were 2 games I played twice. And then video game wise, I played part of Flow, which is part of the Journey collection for PS3, and it was beautiful. There's flowers and flower petals, and I'm really excited to see the way the rest of that goes. For now, watching Farscape, we finished the show. Now we have the Peacekeeper Wars. Alias, I'm on season 3. We watched the movie Green Lantern, kind of with the thought that we're going to see Ryan Reynolds play Deadpool soon, and so watching his not very critically acclaimed superhero movie might be fun. And it was there. The plot holes were extensive, but it was a fun evening. And then we watched Agent Carter, which is really great this season, and I'm loving. Now reading, we're getting further into Armada by Ernest Cline. It's really good. I'm not reading anything. I don't have an audiobook that I'm listening to myself. Just podcasts right now. And yeah, how about some fanciful chatter? This week, this Friday night, Perfectly Posh, the lotion, soap, skincare company I've been using. I've got one of the lotions sitting over here. This is Hey Honey Healing Hand Cream, and it is one of my very favorite scents ever. It's honey lemon, but it smells kind of like Fruit Loops. So all of my skincare comes from this company now, and you guys have heard me talk about it, but they're going to have a new catalog release, and I'm really excited to see the summer product lines that come out. So I'm going to open up a new party. I have a sales account, and if you would like to order some things through my party, that would be awesome. You can get perks that you can use, and I will get a little teeny bit back if you buy with my link. So that will be not until Friday night, so I should have this podcast up before that, but I will go ahead and put the link into the episode thread on Ravelry as soon as the shop is open again for business. I can't open a party until after that. But I'm excited. I'm hoping to add a few things to my shopping cart and see what sounds worth trying out, and replenish a few things that I'm getting low on at the same time, because I really like what I'm using. Also, fanciful chatter, this is a necklace, and there's little bobby pins from the same set from World Market. Okay, Book of Cooking. We had this soup brand was Imagine, and so we were calling it Imaginary Soup. But it was actually very good. It was Imagine tomato basil soup, and then I made grilled cheese triangles, and we dipped our grilled cheese in there. That was lots of fun. I've had yams and rice and chicken a few times this week. And last night, even though I was a little spacey, I made dinner, and then I was spacey enough that I burned the bottoms of the pancakes, but I was able to cut off the bottoms of the pancakes because they were small pancakes, and stick them back on the grill, on the pan, and toast up the bottoms a little bit, and they were fine. I put a little jam on them, and they were fine. The happiness continues. I was color coding something yesterday, or Monday, or something, and I had a whole pile of pens out. And colorful pens make me happy. Look at all those. There's two different kinds here. And there's a purple one from that is hiding. There it is. So there's this set that I got for Christmas. These are Papermate Ink Joy, and they come out very nice. And then these are all Pentel RSVP pens. I have thin ones, Some of them are thin. Let's see, this one's fine. And then all of these are medium. And they came with nicely colored pen things, so usually they're clear, but these ones were actually more colorful. So, colored pens. It makes me happy. Okay. We are right around 30 minutes, so I think that we're going to call that good for today. I'm going to go back and relax on my couch for a little bit before my husband comes home and I have to start thinking about cooking dinner, which actually isn't that far off. And I will get this podcast uploaded for you soon. All right. You can connect with me on the internet. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. The Yearnings podcast group is on Ravelry, and the show notes with links to everything that I talked about are on yearningspodcast.com, all squished together. So until next time, that's the story. Bye, guys.